And then ROI, these numbers are for very large scale organizations. I have a much better model for small scale organizations to large scale. Come get in touch with myself or Usman, and we can build out an ROI model for you. We can work out how to cost it for you more effectively based on what type of product you're going to do, based on what type of use case you're going to do, because it can be very simple, where you're in the hundreds of thousands in cost and millions in return. And you could also be millions in cost and only hundreds of thousands in return, depending how you model it. I'm trying to build better models for pricing because it's a very hard thing to know how to price. What we want to do is I generally try and bring in things like the NFR costs in there, operational cost, SLA costs in there as well. So we look at our organizational structure, what is the impact? And so when you're doing this, you know, you have a better indication of what you're targeting. And then your return on investment, again, you don't want to put money down unless you're going to get something back from it. And you want to make sure you get a good return on the time spent doing it. So again, we can help you do these calculations as well offline. And then scenario, basically, if you do it properly, you are going to see a return on your investment of AI. AI will improve the way you work. That is a guarantee if you have a successful project and you find a way in good use cases. If you choose poor use cases, you won't see a return on investment. But if you choose good use cases, there is always something in your side of an organization that AI will help you with. And then basically, these are sort of numbers based on several scenarios I ran in the back end. And it sort of seems to give quite a large return. It's almost like 5%, 10% efficiency on the organizational side for that return. So it was a reasonable size organization, reasonable size return. It's sort of, yeah, it was good for what we want to do. Now, when we actually roll out AI, how do you get that top level engagement and maintain your executive engagement? You want to make sure you have your executive dashboard in place. So you want to look at user adoption. How many people are using the system? How many people are not using the system that should be using the system? So you have so that gives you an indication of what's going wrong, gives you a group of people you can talk to and say, why aren't you using this system? You can get feedback through that mechanism and improve the quality of what you're producing. Your net promoter score generally is done through surveying organizations, clients, your users. You want to make sure they actually have a reasonable way of doing your net promoter score so you can see, is it favorably accepted by the people who use it? You want to see your productivity improvement. So again, productivity, you're looking at reduction in budget for various operations. You're looking at time to delivery. You're looking at cadence of projects. There are very many metrics you can use to do your productivity improvement. It's normally a roll-up metric. Again, we can guide you on how to build these metrics out more system. And then your system uptime is, when did the system go down? How effectively are we doing? Were we taken down because of what reasons? So again, track that, present that to the executives. So you have these 4 very high level stats saying system is working. We're seeing 32% productivity improvement. Therefore, we're saving this amount of money. We're overall accepted. We got net positive on our organization. We're still got a little bit lower than we want to be. Our user adoption rate is high, which is good. So our net promoter score needs to be improved. So you can look at this metric and say, okay, let's work on how can we make people use the tool more favorably, look at the tool more favorably. So you can go back and look and start asking, what were the comments that people made when we surveyed them to why the tool is bad? And maybe it's just not worth my time or whatever, but it gives you some information to roll back and start rolling out and improving the score. So make sure you have a data dashboard in place so it's monitored. And I would actually show this to the entire organization, not necessarily with the productivity improvement, but look at the user adoption rate. So people actually start seeing who's using it. There's an incentive to use it.